Call now.
You're watching Fox 17, West Michigan's Fox. From the station with the most local news, Fox 17 News at 4 starts right now.
Now on Fox 17 News at 4, a murder trial nearly 3 years in the making. Hear from the man who admits to helping his roommate dump the victim's body on the side of the road. A couple in West Michigan frustrated after a contractor allegedly took their money without doing the job. We'll have more on why they say it's becoming a big financial stress.
And a much cooler, cloudier day across a lot of this area today, but look for our rain chances to increase by this time tomorrow. Your West Michigan forecast is straight ahead.
Thanks for joining us this afternoon. I'm Michelle DeSelms. Friends and neighbors shocked after the tragic death of a popular radio show host from St. Joe. Denise Bone Stewart and her husband were found dead this morning in their home by their young children. Police are calling it a murder-suicide. Fox 17's Lauren Edwards has more.
Neighbors have been gathering together all day, comforting and consoling one another in sheer disbelief of what's happened at the Stewart home. Many in Southwest Michigan still in shock as details emerge surrounding the death of Denise Bone Stewart, a beloved radio host with 98.3 The Coast out of Benton Harbor. She was also a video news anchor at WSJM and a former TV reporter at WSBT in South Bend. Michigan State Police say Denise and her husband Eric died early this morning while their children were home. Police say one of the kids called 911 just before 7 a.m. after finding one of their parents. Police were sent to the Stewart residence on Winwick Drive in St. Joseph and found the bodies. Autopsies will be conducted Wednesday in Grand Rapids, but police believe that Eric shot Denise in the upstairs bedroom and then turned the gun on himself in the basement, which is where the handgun was found.
Preliminarily, we are calling this a murder-suicide. All indications at the scene and the information that we've gleaned from interviews indicate that that is what this is. There was a neighbor that we located in the canvas that did hear something that sounded like a gunshot.
Police say the neighbor heard multiple gunshots early this morning, and the children, ages 10, 9, and 8, are currently staying with other family members. In St. Joseph's, Lauren Edwards, Fox 17 News.
A cloudy and cool Tuesday. Kevin Craig is in the Weather Center with what we can expect the rest of the week. Kevin.
Yeah, thank you, Michelle. You know, it's all about that old saying like the realtors use. It's location, 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 and that is clearly evident today on the map. Good afternoon, everybody. This is the 24-hour temperature change, and these are negative numbers because, for example, in Grand Rapids, we are 28 degrees colder than we were yesterday at this time. That changed not so much on the drastic side in Benton Harbor, but you still get an idea from looking at this map. It's a lot cooler than it was yesterday at this time. A Muskegon Great Lakes Environmental Research camera shows a calm water out there, calm lake, kind of mainly cloudy skies, maybe some hazy filtered sunshine, and I've got a couple of sprinkles showing up on radar. This is nothing heavy, it's nothing well defined. It might be in some cases just enough to kind of wet the pavement down, but I know when I came in back this morning, we had just a couple of sprinkles around the area, and that's primarily what most of this is. So you might catch a sprinkle. A couple of guys around here have been saying, hey, my kids have practice this evening. Are we going to be able to play? Yes, no problem with soccer, lacrosse, baseball, whatever it is that you're doing. A couple of sprinkles, maybe enough to wet the pavement down, and that's all we're talking about here. Most of this heavier precipitation will stay off to our west over Wisconsin. It won't be until tomorrow evening, tomorrow night, when we see our best chance of rain showers. We're only 54 in Grand Rapids, but compare that with Benton Harbor, where they've had some breaks of sunshine. There's 67 there. There's 60 in Big Rapids, so the temperatures are really all over the board. If you're heading out for the evening, here's how things look. About 53 in the Grand Rapids metro area. Maybe a couple of sprinkles. Some filtered sunshine will be possible. We'll call it variably cloudy, down to 50 at 9 p.m. and down to 48 at about 11 p.m. Most of our lows will fall into about the low to mid 40s. I'd call that comfortable cool or comfortably cool. You could probably just leave the window open and enjoy that. We won't have that hotter air mass that we've had over the last couple of nights to where you've actually had to try to get the fan going. Some folks have even turned the air on. That won't be the case, Michelle. Full forecast comes up in just a few minutes.
All right, thanks, Kevin. We'll see you in a bit. Update now to the crash that we told you about yesterday on M40 in Holland. A passenger in one of the cars has now died. A 78-year-old woman was turning left onto M40 from I-196 ramp when they pulled in front of another car and were hit. The elderly driver and the 22-year-old driver of the second car survived, but the passenger, 87-year-old Lorraine Bossinger, has now died from her injuries. If anyone witnessed that crash, Holland police are asking you to contact investigators. In Eaton Rapids, a man is dead after being hit by a vehicle last night. Eaton County officials say a 62-year-old man was in the road when he was hit by a car. This happened in the 300 block of M99. The man died at the scene. His name isn't being released just yet. Trial is now underway in a strange murder case out of Kent County. Roger Music is accused of killing another man in late 2013 and dumping his body on the side of the road. But this case has a twist. It is the alleged motive, the reason. Prosecutors say Music acted out in anger, killing Stephen Day. Fox 17's Darren Cunningham live outside the courthouse now with what happened today on day one. Darren?
Yes, good afternoon. Here on the first day of testimony, we heard from a lot of witnesses on the stand, including the main witness, Robert McComb, who says he actually helped Roger Music hide Stephen Day's body the night he died. Now, McComb says he'd been roommates with Music for about a year as of December of 2013. One night, he says he, Music, and Stephen Day were sitting around talking and drinking when Day admitted to molesting his own niece. Robert McComb testified that Music mouthed that he wanted to kill Day for that confession. McComb claims to have blacked out, and when he awoke, he says Roger Music had Stephen Day in a chokehold and that Day appeared to already be dead. McComb says he and Music dumped the body that night along 16 Mile Road and Myers Lake Avenue in northern Kent County. But the defense thinks McComb played a larger role in the actual murder.
A lot of the evidence that you're going to have in this case is really going to be both sides agreed on. And the crucial question is going to be, who was the person who was responsible for Stephen Day's death? The entire case relies on you believing beyond a reasonable doubt Bob McComb's version of the events.
And McComb's already served time for his role in hiding Day's body. I spoke with him briefly. He told me he served 14 months total. And coming up on Fox 17 News at 5 and 6, you will hear directly from him on the stand. But for now, live in Kent County, Darren Cunningham, Fox 17 News.
All right, Darren, thanks. West Michigan's Most Wanted has helped capture more than 100 fugitives. It airs every Saturday on Fox 17 News at 10. The suspect in the Kalamazoo shootings will be back in court to determine if he is fit to stand trial. Jason Dalton faces 16 criminal charges in connection to the shooting rampage that left 6 people dead, 2 others injured. Police say Dalton was working as an Uber during and in between the shootings. He told investigators that the Uber app on his phone influenced him. We are happy to pass along another uplifting update from Abby Koff's recovery Facebook page. Miss Greater Kalamazoo, Jody Beckman, stopped by Abby's room at Mary Free Bed to raise her spirits. Beckman is a brain injury survivor herself. She brought a stuffed teddy bear and a tiara for the smiling little girl there. Abigail set to go home tomorrow, weeks earlier than expected. Police say 3 teenagers are accused of breaking into 2 churches in Ottawa County. A 16-year-old boy, a 15-year-old girl, and a 13-year-old are accused of vandalizing Georgetown Protestant Reformed Church and Jamestown Christian Reformed Church in Georgetown Township Sunday morning. Officials say the doors were pried open, and once inside, the teens allegedly threw Bibles and other books around the building. Some of the Bibles were burned. Police say the suspects then sprayed fire extinguishers in the pews. The teens are currently with their parents. They have been cooperating with investigators. The Ottawa County Sheriff's Office will turn the case over to prosecutors for possible charges when the investigation is complete. April is National Childhood Abuse Prevention Month, and those who work to help kids in abusive situations are being recognized. The Muskegon County Prosecutor's Office is working with the Child Abuse Council to recognize officials who try to put an end to abuse and neglect. The 1,100 blue ribbons represent the 1,100 victims who were helped in the county last year alone. The Prosecutor's Office calls the abused children courageous and brave because they stepped up to tell an adult what's happening.
We all have a role to play in making children safe and making our communities the best place for children to live and thrive. It is the hope and dream of the Child Abuse Council that one day we can stand out here and not see one ribbon on these trees.
There were nearly 35,000 confirmed victims of abuse and neglect last year in the state of Michigan. The battle for New York in the presidential primaries is today. We'll have more on what a win could mean for the frontrunners. A beer fest for home brewers and fans. We'll have more on that and when the Beer City Big Brew is happening.
Michelle, the West Michigan Whitecaps are getting ready for a game tonight. You can see them practicing out on the field. Here's some good news you might not have known. Parking's only $1 today. It'll be a bit cloudy and cool, maybe a couple of sprinkles, but that's it. Your forecast is up next.
You're watching Fox 17 News.
Fox Thursday. Can Bones keep her cool to catch a killer?
That one likes flapping her gums. You might want to get a muzzle on her. Oh!
Then, WWE superstar John Cena is taking the reality action genre to the next level.
You give up, you go home.
An all-new American Grit after an all-new Bones. Thursday on Fox.
Cheating from the governor maintained that Flint's Walk
having a big impact on the
This is what precision feels like. Magnetic Ride Control actively monitors road conditions 1,000 times per second to deliver a comfortable ride.
1,000 times, huh?
Yep, per second.
How about that?
This is the new, meticulously crafted 2016 Sierra Denali from GMC. This is the precision of professional grade. Or GM employee program participants with a current lease can get this low-mileage lease on this specially equipped GMC Sierra SLE for $239 per month.
The new Cub Cadet XT Enduro series comes from a place where raw strength is just a starting point, and unrivaled dependability is backed by the strongest warranty in the business. You'll find that place at a locally owned dealer with $100 off select XT2 models from April 21st through May 4th. Welcome to Strongsville. To find a locally owned Cub Cadet dealer near you, visit CubCadetDealers.com.
Winter was brutal on your roof. Is it ready for the rain? Mr. Roof will inspect it for free. Don't get wet. Get a new roof with no payments and no interest for 12 months. Yes, 12 months.
1-800-4-MR-ROOF.
Mr. Roof.
Feeling good from the inside out. That's what Harvest Health Foods is all about.
At Harvest Health Foods, you'll find the freshest organic produce, natural and organic groceries, healthy body care and cleaning products, as well as vitamins and supplements for your healthy lifestyle. Our knowledgeable staff is ready to help. Harvest Health Foods, healthy groceries, healthy vitamins, and healthy answers.
Now, wherever you go, you can bring your favorite Michigan Lottery games with you. Just go online and play Instants, Keno, Mega Millions, Powerball, and more. Win cash prizes on the spot, on the go, on any device. So go to MichiganLottery.com. Let's play. Sign up with promo code TV for 10 free games.
Knowing your limits is always the best bet.
K&M Dodge Ram is doing it again. Up to 40% discount on 2015 pre-owned vehicles. Don't make a $2,000 mistake. KMDodgeRam.com. Get here.
Fox 17 weather is brought to you by Bell Tire.
Today marks 21 years since the deadly bombing in Oklahoma City. Anti-government militant Timothy McVeigh detonated a truck bomb outside the Alfred P. Murrah Federal Building there. 168 people were killed, including 19 children who were in the daycare center. More than 650 others were injured. The blast damaged or destroyed more than 300 nearby buildings. The governor of Oklahoma spoke today about the tragedy.
Oklahoma has not forgotten, and that we will never forget, that we will always remember the resiliency, the courage, the compassion, the forgiveness, the healing that took place over the last 21 years, and to remember the lives of those that were lost.
Timothy McVeigh was executed for his crimes. His co-conspirator, Terry Nichols, is spending life in prison. Until the September 11 terror attacks, the bombing at the Murrah building was the worst terrorist attack to take place on U.S. soil. The battle for New York is front and center today, with some saying the results could determine whether the frontrunners can lock up the nomination. David Miller has the latest.
Political analysts are calling it one of the most critical presidential election contests of the year. And as polls in the Empire State open up, the presidential candidates are in a fight to the finish, with frontrunners Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump starting off the morning by casting their ballots.
I love New York, and this has been a joy.
And while Clinton may be way ahead of Democratic underdog Bernie Sanders, he's continuing his efforts to close the gap. But it's an uphill battle for the Vermont senator, as New York is a closed primary, meaning in order to vote for Sanders today, those registered as independents would have had to change their party affiliation to Democrat back in October, something Sanders is choosing not to focus on.
And if we get a large voter turnout tomorrow, we're going to win here in New York.
After casting his ballot this morning, Donald Trump predicted he would do very well.
We have amazing support, but I'm really honored, and putting in that vote today was really something terrific.
This as his Republican rival, Senator Ted Cruz, also pushes to close the gap